after.
No, but like after this.
What is it? Bellward start this right?
Yeah, we're writing something about
Oh,
napping.
end me, please.
Napping?
Yeah.
Can we nap? Can we like nap to like see
No.
how it is and like?
I need it for
Can
evidence.
we get first?
Yeah.
I will take all this talking to mean that you're done with your bell work.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Like 5
let me
seconds.
share now.
Okay, so go ahead and finish up whatever sentence it is you're working on. Make sure you save this somewhere that you know you're not gonna lose it. This should have been your 14th entry. I'm gonna create the Canvas assignment to turn it in soon. And when I do that, I'm gonna write down all the dates that you should have in your journal on that assignment, so that you know if you're missing any, you can ask a friend, hey, what was the prompt for this date? I'm missing it. Okay. So today and tomorrow in class, we are doing a practice write score. Our write score exams were supposed to be this Thursday. They got moved to next week, so we have a little extra time. So today and tomorrow, since for your write score, you have a 2-hour time period to write it. Obviously, we don't have that in normal class time, so you're gonna have 2 class periods to write it today and tomorrow.
You have to write a whole essay.
Yeah.
What?
Today and tomorrow. So I have the assignment on here. It's called Napping Practice Write Score. So click on the little PDF, brings you here. This is pretty much exactly what the instructions are going to look like on your actual write score. It's going to tell you to write an argumentative essay, taking a position on the prompt, tells you what to do, so you're going to read the sources, plan your essay, write your essay, and then proofread it at the end to make sure it's good.
Okay.
And then these are some things to keep in mind as you're writing.
Write another
So then,
essay?
when you scroll down on that page, all the sources are there for you. Okay. And then Wednesday, we're gonna peer review them and score them and stuff. So something that's really important here, you have to have some sort of planning sheet. If you wanna do a hamburger model, you're more than welcome to. If you just wanna write out what you're planning on writing, just with no like format really at all, that's fine too. I just need to see that you're actually planning out your essay, because the English department as a whole, so every English teacher in the school, is taking your planning sheet for your actual write score as a grade. So you need to make sure that you're actually planning out your essays if we're gonna practice that.
But that takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes too much time.
And we have a limited amount of time.
How many points is it worth?
30 some.
Okay, so here's an example of a planning sheet. It doesn't have to look like this. Again, you can do it in hamburger model format if you want.
Can I do it on paper?
But yes, you can do it on paper. But some of the things that your planning model needs to have, you need to have your claim in your planning model. What side of the argument you are taking, that needs to be in your planning model. Your supporting reasons, so your body paragraph reasons, you can have 2 or 3. I would recommend that you do 2 really strong body paragraphs instead of doing 3 and risking not being able to develop them as much. So for each point you have, you need to list at least 2 pieces of evidence from the sources that you plan on using. List a possible counterclaim, because remember you will need them in your essay. And then for your conclusion, just write how you plan on restating your claim in a new way. Again, does not have to be formatted like this, but it should include those things that you plan on writing about. So the evidence you plan on using, the reasons you plan on using, your claim and counterclaim. Yeah.
Can we get the evidence from online?
No, the evidence comes from your sources like it does for an actual write score.
Where's the source?
You scroll down.
Oh,
Okay. So again, you have all of class time today and all of class time tomorrow to do it. Any other questions?
will
Yeah.
it have to be an MLA?
No, it does not have to be an MLA, but I would appreciate if you wrote in 12 points. Oh my god, I can't talk. Times New Roman, thank you. Yeah.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Any other questions about this?
Yeah, why do we have to do it?
Because we have to.
What would happen if we didn't do it?
Then you would get a 0. 0?
We would.
Yeah.
What hap- what
Fine,
happened
point
if
into
it's
the
a planning sheet? Cause I don't see a planning sheet, so what would happen if you didn't do that? Is that a grade?
It's part of the grade. Yeah.
What?
Wait, how
How many points is it?
I haven't decided yet,
Oh.
but it is part of this grade, so you
This-
need to have a planning sheet.
It's so stinking good on it.
So that's the only thing that's getting graded, the planning sheet?
No, the essay and the planning sheet are getting graded.
Okay, did you get 100 on it if you just did it, like the animal farm practice?
I have not decided yet. It shouldn't matter anyway, you should be trying your hardest because your write score is next week and you need to practice good writing. George, pick up your laptop, start working.
He's getting good evidence. But nothing.
Yeah.
Good evidence.
It says right here on this chart.
Elaboration, actually.
I'm getting elaboration.
It says George
You
needs
shouldn't be talking.
10 hours.
Treat
of
this
sleep.
like a write score. It needs to be silent. You need to be reading your sources and putting your arguments together.
See, you don't need that much sleep.
Someone said the gym on my
George.
machine. Yes?
Stop talking.
Okay. Where do we find it?
You can find it in assignments or in the write score prep module.
Assignments?
Yes it is. Oh, if we don't finish this in class, can we work on that at our houses?
Well, you have today and tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, but what if you don't, like, finish it?
Then you finish it at home
Okay.
tomorrow, but ideally you could get it done in the 2 class
So how
period.
long is
I was
how
just
long-
confused. Yeah, how long do you think it's gonna be? 49 minutes?
Well,
Around
what
there.
time does it start?
I don't know. I don't keep track of time. 11:15.
Oh, look at it. Or
It is 11, it's 11:38 right now. It makes sense if it's like,
You're wasting your own time by talking about it.
sorry.
Yeah, you're
Start
wasting
reading.
your time.
Gosh. I'm being recorded.
How
No,
many,
'cause I just
how,
have to
what are
record
the,
something.
what are,
What's the Snapchat notification?
do we have any certain things that we
We still have
get
recording.
on TV?
The sources.
Where are the sources?
On the PDF.
There are. Oh wait, I see, oh wait, there's 5 pages.
computer? Or
Yes.
really?
What would happen if you, like, take those and then put that to a essay? Can you use that?
You can use your own evidence that you find.
But what if one of the claims
What
that
part
you
is
use
the evidence?
matches one of those?
And that's fine.
Okay.
Do we need evidence from all 3 passages?
Yeah. You need to incorporate every source. Yes.
What was I gonna say? I forgot.
What are we writing this on? Nothing.
Just a Word document, it's fine. But again, if you want to do your planning sheet on actual paper, you're more than welcome to.
Can you write it on paper?
No, the essay has to be typed, but you can do your planning sheet on paper. then I would incorporate that into wherever you're placing your counterclaim.
So we have to have counterclaim for every.
You just have to mention the counterclaim once in the whole essay. Again, I think you should put it in your intro, but if you wanted to mention it again in one of your body paragraphs, that would be a good way to incorporate evidence from a source that goes against what you're arguing.
Okay.
So an entire essay?
What?
An entire essay?
Nintendo. You have today and tomorrow to do it, which is nice because in the actual test you're gonna have to write it all in one sitting. So
For the conclusion, can we just say it's a restated introduction?
you should practice how you're going to restate it. You should write.
I know, but for this, the handbook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you should write out how you plan on restating it. Because then if you already have it, you can just put it right into your essay. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Okay. When you're planning your essay, for the part where you're planning your intro, write out your claim, like your exact claim, what you want it to
Maps are
be.
good for people because.
It would just be naps are good for people, but obviously you would try and not use the word good because don't do that.
Great.
Awesome.
Beneficial, like describe
Fantastic.
what they do for
Astonishing.
people, whatever. That should be where you're planning your intro. For your conclusion, rewrite it so that it's already rewritten for when you put it in your conclusion, you already have it ready to go.
But look at my tiny little bubble. I don't have space for that.
These people have 20 minutes for their kids to nap. That's awesome. Why can't we do that? Ooh, at the school.
Because the people who own the school are dumb and stupid.
We don't own school.
Nobody cares.
We should have.
Then who
You
bought
shouldn't be talking, you should be writing. Treat this like the
I
right
remember
school.
napping in preschool.
For the second passage, I can't find where I can't find the author.
Right, so I don't think it lists the author for any of them, so if you're,
It does. It does. Actually, I don't.
if it doesn't list the author, all you have to do is cite the name of the article, or just source 1, source 2, source 3.
I'm gonna just do source 2 because the name is long. Can I just do S1?
Right, source. So the grader knows what you're talking about.
Aren't you the grader?
Hmm?
Aren't you the grader of this?
Yes, but for your actual grade score, I will not be.
Well, it's gonna. Oh, yes, okay.
Why won't you be our grader for the right school?
That's not how it works.
That's not.
No, the district pays
Wait,
for
So wait, like,
outside graders to do it. The county where I went to school, the actual teachers had to grade them, and it was miserable for them. So the
Because they
county
had to
pays
put-
for actual graders from right score to grade your stuff.
Why was it miserable? They assigned essays anyways.
they had more work.
Right. And it's work that they're not assigning, it's not optional for them.
I mean, teachers can't, teachers can't like complain about having, I mean, they can, but like, about having too much, like, stuff to grade.
Ooh, because they're the ones that told us to
Because
do
they're
it.
the ones who assign it, true.
So Sean, they can't get their.
But like, if they're forced to do it, then they
If they're forced to assign something, then yeah, that's their fault. But, I mean, no, that's not their fault. But if they rightfully choose to assign something and then complain about having to grade that, that's their fault.
we have to have grades?
That's a good question. That's a big argument that like has existed for a long time.
Like,
And I
understand
don't
why we
necessarily
it,
have an answer
but-
for you. That's just how the school system's set up.
Cause if every single child is trying their best, and
See,
even though
that's
they
the
get a
point.
bad grade,
Well, you
That
can't
child
really
is
grade
trying
on,
their
see, the problem.
Okay, we're not arguing this now.
Because some kids are just.
We are not
dumb.
arguing this now. Write your essay so that you don't have to do it at home.
I'm not dumb, Sean, shut up, you loser.
Do I have to send you to another room? I would love to do that.
No, ma'am.
For a point, can we just put, maps provide a short-term boost in alertness?
Is that a point?
Yes.
Yes.
Then it shouldn't be a question. If it's a reason for why naps are beneficial, then it's a point.
Okay.
Just make sure that you can elaborate on it.
can you, do you have to put the paragraph or like the sentence or something?
Yeah, so if you're just, if when you're citing your source, you say according to this person, blah, 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 quote, you don't have to put the paragraph number, but if you're doing a parenthetical citation, which is like parentheses with your source in it at the end, you would do, like source one, paragraph, whatever,
Okay.
So what are we using as evidence?
the sources.
What if it's like a
Where?
short story?
In the PDF.
What if it's like
Oh,
a
they're in
short
the
story
PDF, I
that
know
we're
that.
using for evidence and it doesn't have paragraphs? Or doesn't have pages? Then we
There,
put the
okay.
sentence,
No,
or we put,
I can't imagine a situation where you would have something with no paragraph.
like a short story?
I don't think that's a thing.
Oh, wow.
Whoever's ringer that is needs to turn off.
throwing out things. I don't have any. I don't know what a different. I don't even know. Is there anyone who can help?
Um,
I've been looking for like 10 minutes. Yeah, I can only. What do you get? This reason?
My first reason is because
or
it feels
stop.
good.
He's trying to ask me a question. I would suggest, okay, so here's the problem. Hold on, whoever's listening to something that needs to stop. Okay. When you're planning out your essay,
Sean, send you.
what's really important is that you look at both sides of the argument and find whichever one has more evidence. And I would suggest that's how you go about deciding what you're gonna argue about, rather than just like, oh, I wanna argue for this side because I think it's right. I would always try and pick the side where you can find more evidence. If you run into a situation where you've already written some of your essay and you're like, oh no, I can't find more evidence or I can't come up with a reason, my best suggestion to you would be to look at what the sources are arguing, not necessarily the point that they're arguing, but maybe some common themes throughout the essay, like is it a time waster? Is it healthier? Does it improve performance? Like try and